ground, don't disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock it. Let's get it started, it's the hardest. Talk around, don't disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock it. Let's get it started. Yeah,
get your boots ready. We're about to go on a trip where we wrestle, nobody settling or calling it quits. You're here for the grit, betcha this stuff is amazing. You're stumbling? Welcome to the bump in the apron. Step into it, the hardest part of the ring. Here to bring fun, yeah, in this art he is king. It's the best thing, making sure you don't tap out. Don't go soft with the hardest podcast out. And it's not just another one, it's clear. Off the rest, in this content, none contest. Take the nonsense off the steps. You know it's nothing but pure gems when it's coming off the chest. Get it? Now it's time to sit and relax. Get your mind blown away, ain't no skipping this track. Have you paying more attention, no listening gap. Get everything I ever wanted, no giving it back. Yeah.
Ooh. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Apron Bump Podcast. I'm your host, the innovator of violence, the hardest part of the ring, Kyle Bird. How the heck is everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. I am. You know why I'm doing well? Because, well, we're talking about some ECW today. Hostile City Showdown 1996. A doozy and a half of an Extreme Championship Wrestling show. I say it every time, man. You turn on these ECW shows in 1996 and it's like, man, this is... And we gotta talk about this in the podcast. Like, this show is kind of like a very stereotypical ECW show. Stereotypical in the sense of it's like kind of like what the outside viewer thinks it is. People who are not too familiar with ECW, like a caricature of what ECW is, and in all the best ways, but in some of the worst ways. But a lot to talk about on this show. Probably most notable on this show is the first meeting between Sabu and Rob Van Dam. Yes, Sabu's been here for a while, but RVD is fresh on the scene, and we get to see him and Sabu tear it up. By far the match of the night, and it's really a coming out party for RVD, and that's some foreshadowing for the podcast. But that being said, Shane Douglas versus Raven in the main event for the world title. You got, what else is on this show? You got more gangsters and eliminators shenanigans. We got the Dudleys. We got the FBI. Cat fights. Well, not really a cat fight. It was more of a scissor party, really. But we'll get to it. I'll just say this. A lot of legendary moments on this show. A lot of moments you see in like video packages of ECW. You know what I mean? Are they good? Jury's out on that, but a lot to get into, like I said, so we might as well get right to it. But first, let me give a shout out to my beautiful guests, Matt Ritter from the Smackin It Raw podcast and Charlie from the GETCHO podcast, allegedly. Go check out both these boys. All their info in the description below. Hilarious podcasts. Also great follows on the social media. The Smackin It Raw podcast, which Matt Ritter is the host of. They cover the weekend wrestling, but they do it in a very entertaining way. It's a little tawdry at times, but it's a great time. The #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub, of course, which I have been on several times, to much to the dismay of my wife, who now knows that I am on Pornhub. So do with that what you will. I was actually just on the Smackin It Raw podcast a few days ago, as of this episode dropping. So go check that out if you have not already. And the GETCHO podcast, which Charlie is may or may not be returning to, just had just on a few weeks ago. You know the deal. You know about the GETCHO podcast. Another hilarious take on the current wrestling scene. So go follow these boys, listen to them, watch them, tickle them, smooch them, tickle their chest hair a little bit and make it stick up just a little bit. And yeah, hey, while you're at it, while you're following and listening to everybody, why don't you do that to your boy, the hardest part of the ring, as well. Follow me everywhere at Apron Bump. Apronbump.com will take you wherever you want to go. If you like ECW, you like this era of ECW, I strongly suggest you go back into my archives and check out all of the ECW shows I've covered from chronological order, starting from their very first Extreme Championship Wrestling show in 1994, all the way through 95, all the way up until now, the spring of 96. It's been a ride. You can go to apronbump.com, go to the episodes tab at the top, select ECW, and that'll bring you to all the ECW shows I've covered. And binge away, daddy. Do that. Leave a like on the video if you're watching on YouTube. By the way, folks, there is a YouTube version. If you're not aware, and if you're watching on YouTube, there's an audio version. Why don't you watch it and listen to it at the same time? That'd be my recommendation. You get a little echo action on the hardest part of the ring. But with that, I think we might as well get to it. Make sure to stay tuned at the end, where we will grade this show, and we will continue the hardest promotion of 1996 battle, WWF versus WCW versus ECW. We'll grade the show, and we'll see if anything on this show teetered or tottered the best or the worst of 1996. What else that entails, we'll stick tuned at the end, and we'll get into it. High stakes, medium stakes. Yeah, just medium stakes. If you like your steak anyway else, you're kind of an asshole. But I digress. Let's get to it. ECW. Hostile. I'm going to get a lot of DMs on that. Hostile City Showdown with myself and Matt Ritter from the Smackin It Raw podcast and Charlie from the mango cart on the street somewhere. A hose.
Yeah, we can just attach a hose and you can just rinse yourself off there. I'm like, yeah, that's not the same thing.
No, you might as well just get like the wipes at that point.
Did you just move, Charlie?
Just use that for your butt. Like,
Is that WD-40? You want me to squirt that in my ass? Oh, dude.
Like lube?
Yo, twinsies. Let's go.
Oh,
Yo,
God.
gang.
I just moved, actually. Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah,
Where'd
thank
you move to?
I moved 5 minutes away from you. So, no, I'm 5 minutes away. As in, like, I was in Arlington Heights, and now I'm North Arlington Heights. But I actually have a house.
Well,
now,
I
instead
actually
of
moved
apartment.
closer to you.
What? Where you at?
Lake Zurich.
What? Oh, yeah, that's right. You did tell me you're gonna move over there. So Kyle, sorry, but
No, keep on with
here.
the local talk. It's fine. I'm just here. It's like I'm not even here. I don't remember giving you permission to leave my basement, Charlie.
No, see, like that's just a front. I'm in his attic now, so
moving on up.
By the way, Justin wanted me to ask you why you text me about your strip club adventures, but not him.
Oh, I guess I should text him too. He's like, I don't know. I figure I have no reason for it. It's just that you and I have talked about blackjacks and shit. So I'm like,
I
local
use the
stuff.
excuse that I live by the strip club, and that's why you text me. Not that you like me better because I'm white. So
Okay, well now that it's out there,
I think you're just more likely you're more likely, Matt, to be a strip club connoisseur than Justin. I think. I don't know if I agree with that though. Actually.
I would agree with it wholeheartedly. I don't know. Justin just doesn't give me that vibe. It's like, hey, what do you want to do for fun? Hey, let's play with figures and shit, you know?
No, Justin seems like a guy that would go like for the food, you know?
Well, I go there for that too, but
the fish, right?
Stop.
Come on. We're talking about vaginas.
We'll be talking about vaginas all morning long.
So fuck, kill, marry.
Let's talk about dicks.
Fuck, kill, marry. Kimono Wanalea, Mustafa, all of Team Taz.
Oh my god, that's a great question.
Well,
I wouldn't fuck Mustafa because of his time in jail, so he'd be loose as a goose.
Yeah. Wait, what?
What?
That's why you wouldn't fuck Mustafa?
Oh yeah, he's a guy too. Oh yeah, shit. That's who.
I'm gonna kill all of Team Taz just so I can get rid of Bill Alfonso and that goddamn whistle.
You wouldn't want to shove the whistle in his ass?
No,
Make
because
him...
then he would probably just make it blow louder.
Yeah. Well, he wouldn't need the whistle after you're done with him, right?
Yeah. So I guess that means if I'm killing Team Taz, I'm gonna marry Mustafa and I'm fucking Kimono Wanalea, because the whole point of today's episode, when I asked you to do this a year ago, was to prompt this like fantasy I had of at least getting one, if not two Asians at the same time. So,
God damn it.
Got anything on that, Charlie?
Since I'm living closer to him now, he'll know.
You look like you're in the casting couch room down there,
What?
Charlie.
So this is like my office right now, which is I literally just moved in. So the only thing I have is this shit. Look at this setup here. Oh shit!
For anybody listening, he's showing us his dildo
shit.
collection.
Get the fuck out.
and it's huge.
Yeah, we got a couple Mustafas over there. But anyways, but yeah, guys. Yeah, I was gonna ask you, Hostile City Showdown. You literally messaged me a year ago. You're like, I called dibs on Hostile City Showdown '96, and I was like, okay. And I started watching this show. I was like, what the fuck? What was this big hang up on this show? And then towards the end, I kind of understood. But,
Well, I told you when I asked you, I was like, listen, as the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub, I feel like we are the only group of people that can sit down and properly analyze especially now it's Pride Month, so like in LGBTQ by threesome storyline in ECW without doing it a disservice. So
yeah,
I had to be on that.
And you got Stevie Richards and Daisy Dukes. It's kind of a running theme throughout the entire show.
I like it. Did I watch the right show? I mean,
Raven might have been a cuck. Like, this is all Pornhub related. Like,
Sandman was a cuck. I thought. Well, at least I thought he was.
I've got that in my notes.
A lot of cucks. A lot of cuckage in this show. But
I was during his entrance. Like, good lord, I was like, oh yeah, this is happening.
I took more notes on his entrance than the match he was in. But
no shit.
But we got to hold our loads, gang. We gotta edge a little longer. Because that's towards the end. But overall, because I've had you both on a few ECW shows from around this era, maybe a year before or whatever. What first of all, what you guys overall thoughts of the show, and did you get any like differences from previous shows that we've covered together? We'll start from the most Asian to least Asian. So Charlie, you first.
I feel like I watched like a 2-hour brawl. It was just, I was just there. Oh, okay, next match. Oh, it's back in the.
Well, a lot of crowd fighting.
I feel like if I was there live at that event, it would have been amazing. If watching it at home, I'm like, I wish I was there live next to Missy Hyatt, because damn, Missy Hyatt, good lord. Because I've seen all her videos like lately, and it's like it's like she's like literally melting as she grows older. So it's nice to see her like now, like back in 1996, where she's like, damn.
Yeah.
Have you seen the stuff of her and Sonny together from like 10, 15 years ago?
I saw a video, like a really grainy video of like them in a shower. Wait, let me watch it again. Hold on.
Yeah. You seen 10 years ago them in a shower? I don't know if I want to watch that.
It was like 10, 15. Like, they don't look great. Like, this is the best I've ever seen, I think, Missy Hyatt look.
This is from 10 days ago. Shit.
So you and I have you and I together, and then you and Charlie separately have watched a lot of ECW, and I put this in my notes. I feel like this show represented everything that people think ECW is if they didn't watch ECW. Like, this was the most ECW what's the word I'm looking for?
It's like a good representation of what the brand is.
No,
what people
because
think it is.
Yeah, exactly. Like stereotypical ECW show. This was a very stereotypical ECW show of what people think, which I was actually okay with, because the only big issue I had with this show was the fact that they censored everything. Like, we've gone through, we've been like, it's kind of weird that they don't censor some stuff, and then they did censor a little bit here or there. Everything was censored, and I wanted to hear all the motherfuckers and everything that New Jack had to say. My wife watched the beginning of the show with me, and my favorite part was, she's like, who is that guy? And I'm like, you remember that documentary you watched about that guy that, like, murdered people and stabbed that? She goes, that's that guy? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I'm gonna stick around and watch this match.
Yeah. It's it's weird, because like the last show I covered, Massacre on Queens Boulevard, or whatever, Queens Boulevard, they didn't censor anything. Devon debuts, it's fuck this, fuck that. You have New Jack cutting a promo, it's the same thing. And here it's like they censor ass and penis and whatever the hell. So I don't know if it's like when they uploaded it to the network or what that is, but outside of that, I mean, yeah, I agree with you guys. It was like because I looked at the card before I watched it. And this was like the first ECW show where I was like kind of excited to watch it, as it kind of went on, it was like Charlie said, it's like a lot of brawling. It's just a lot of mindless. It's the ECW stuff, but there was some good stuff towards the end, which we'll get into. But it was I was very whelmed by this show, I think, until the end, and then I got slightly chubbed at the end, but we'll get into it.
I'm really disappointed the one match on the card that we didn't get, because as it said at the beginning of the show, it's in the most complete form possible due to technical difficulties, and we were robbed of the banger that would have been Mikey Whipwreck defeating Billy Black.
Who? wait, who?
Yeah,
with Damian Kane and Lady Alexander, and I'm very curious.
With the run in from Cranges McBasketball, right? And then and IP Freely does commentary.
Dude, it's Billy Black. I mean, that everyone you named there is just my least favorite people in ECW.
You're not a fan of Mikey Whipwreck?
Mikey Whipwreck can eat my clown asshole. Like, he is just annoying, and so is Billy Black. I've only seen one.
Best stunner in the business.
The whippersnapper?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's when he gets the Ring of Honor and just kills everybody. Just one after the other. Just stuns 12 people and just clears the ring.
He's got a lot of cushion. He pops right back up after those stunners. It's amazing.
Not as powerful in 96, you're right. Oh, man. Yeah, shame. Do you know who won that match, Matt, by any chance? Billy Black or Mikey Whipwreck?
Mikey Whipwreck won.
Oh, what a shock.
And it was a 7-minute, 9-second match.
Oh, God.
Let me guess, 6 minutes and 9 seconds in the crowd.
Probably.
Are you guys aware of Billy Black at all?
I am not.
No.
He's think Jerry Law. No, think Jimmy King from Ready to Rumble.
Oh, you were talking about this on the last episode. That's right.
Yeah. Billy Black didn't stick with you?
No, unfortunately. But as soon as I heard Think Jimmy King, it sparked that memory. I'm like, I remember Little Squeaky talking about this.
Okay. We're moving on. But yeah, so Billy Black, shame we didn't get to see him, but we did get to see the Gangsters. Not in a match, but and a lot of brawling. But that gets set up 2 brawls. Well, 1 brawl. It's kind of just split up, but depends how you look at it. But we have Joey Styles is out there kicking off the show, has the mic, and he calls out the Gangsters for an interview, a nice sit-down interview with the Gangsters. New Jack's, I guess the long and short of it is New Jack says that his wife said that he was getting soft, is what I made out of this.
My wife told me the same thing last night, and I made sure to fix that.
I'm sorry to hear that. But Mustafa is...
I hate you both, man.
Hey, Charlie, can you do your best Mustafa impression?
That's right. That's all he really did, right?
Dude, I don't know. Like, did he fall off a motorcycle? Like, what is wrong with this dude? He's so unintelligible.
Still better than a Roddy Strong promo.
Hey! Yeah, I mean, yeah.
My wife distinguished him as the guy with COVID because he wore the mask.
That's pretty good.
Real trendsetter, this Mustafa.
I'm sure he still has chlamydia.
Something. I mean, you walk into that building and you get chlamydia, just airborne, I think.
God damn it.
Yeah.
But he called out the Eliminators, you know, the now homeless Perry Saturn and Kronos, who never did anything outside of ECW.
Yeah. I mean, Kronos, he died in like the late 90s, didn't he? Early 2000s.
That would make a lot of sense.
Sorry.
What's up, I'll look it up.
I'm so sorry.
I'll look it up while you go.
Please do. We need this information. But yeah, so the Gangsters and the Eliminators are feuding over who's more street, I guess. I don't know. But the Eliminators are the tag team champions and the Gangsters want the titles. Of course they do. So that's why they're feuding. But the Gangsters basically call out the Eliminators. They brawl for what seems like 4 hours. All around the crowd. All around the ring. Locker room empties. Everybody clear. They have to pull apart these 2 teams. And then, don't worry, this never ends. Even though you think it might, because this next match kicks off, which is Supernova, the debut of Supernova, versus El Puerto Ricano.
The Puerto Rican, for those of you who don't speak Spanish.
That's what they were saying the whole time?
Yes.
I was like taking some quick notes. Like, I don't know what Joey Styles is saying, so I just kept putting down Mustafa Ali. Because he's Mustafa Ali until I figure out what Joey Styles is calling him. So it's Puerto. Oh, God.
Close enough. El Puerto
Rican.
Ricano.
Okay, El Chile Releno.
There you go. That's basically what he is. But this is really not a match. I mean, it's whatever. It's the debut of Nova, who was a superhero, I guess.
Are you aware of who Nova becomes, though?
Yeah, he's the Simon system.
Well, okay. Other than that, in ECW,
he's in the Blue World Order, isn't he?
That is correct. He is the Hollywood Hogan of the Blue World Order.
That's right.
We'll talk about it later, but right now, Blue Meanie and Stevie are kind of mocking Shawn Michaels and Diesel.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Very subtle.
The heart attack kid, stuff like that.
Yeah, the assless chaps. Yeah.
Unfortunately for Stevie, who's a one-note guy, when they do the BWO, Nova does Hogan, Meanie does Hall, and of course Stevie does Nash because that's the only character he can do.
Hey, he does it well. All you gotta do is this, right? So, yeah, we got Supernova in here. He's he's flying. He's doing stuff.
Noam Dar just going all over the place.
How dare you put some respect on Noam Dar.
This is Supernova 1, all right? Not Supernova 11. This is,
right,
what
fair.
Inspired Noam Dar to be who he is.
So you think Noam Dar was inspired by Simon Dean, is what you're telling
100%,
me.
yes.
I could see the resemblances. You're right.
I read that on Wikipedia. He's right.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Cronus died in 2007, by the way.
Good. So we got these two going at it, and Puerto's flopping all over the place. Nova is too. It's a kind of a clunky jobber match, but it's really just a placeholder for more brawling from the Eliminators and the Gangstas. The Eliminators come out as these two jobbers are fighting each other, hit them both with stiff German suplexes. Total elimination for both of them. And then they call out the Gangstas, how the turns have tabled. And then the Gangstas come back with the trash can, and then they brawl again. So what'd you guys think of the brawling? Was it good?
2 notes. 1, the locker room waited until they went into the crowd and got back in the ring twice before they broke it up.
Well, they were busy preparing for their matches, Matthew.
Stretching. And then the other note that I had about this was the second time was actually enjoyable because they just let the Gangsters music play through the entire ass kicking, and I love an ass kicking to a soundtrack. So
the inspiration to the Anarchy in the Arena, this new Jack music playing throughout the brawl.
Yeah.
I had 2 notes too. 1, I could watch any fight with natural born killers in the background. It's like, I don't care what they're doing. It's just so cool. And 2, it's like that brawl, both of the brawls, the first one and the second one, just remind me of like just people not cooperating because like no one even had time to hold the chair and hit anybody right. They were just holding the chair anyway and just kind of just hitting them with it because like it was like me like when I was like 5 years old, like just like fighting somewhere. It's just kind of like just swinging because that's what it just felt like. It was like I was like, what am I watching here? But I couldn't stop watching it because Natural Born Killers was on it. So
that's all you need. Yeah, I thought the brawls were kind of shitty, to be honest. Because like you said, it was just like they were like hitting. They were like Hulk Hogan chairing everybody, like just pushing the chair into everybody.
They couldn't even hold the chair right. They didn't have time to hold the chair out because the other guy wouldn't sell anyway. So he was gonna hit him.
Nobody was selling. That's what it was.
Handle with a chair. It was like
they would just like be dragging each other, quote unquote, but they would just be like walking next to each other. They were getting bored of it as they were brawling with each other.
The second brawl out, well, I guess since you said it's really one brawl, just divided in 2 parts, gets a 10 out of 10 for one reason and one reason only.
Why is that?
If it was not for this brawl, I would not have seen Hack Myers.
There we go.
Who is now my second favorite ECW character because my new favorite ECW character I got to watch for the first time with you here on the show.
Okay, little tease. We'll get to that. But that's your point. Yeah, the teams fight wherever it doesn't end. JT grabs the mic at some point and babbles. Devon's there, hits Guido with a chair. And then the Bad Crew beats up Puerto. All these stupid ECW jobbers are just fighting each other because this is when they get the time. And Hack Myers, like you said, Matt, stands tall. So it's an A+ segment.
You don't have to wait for number 1 because you just said it. As a Sicilian with a very nice tan, just like JT Smith, I respect him above all. So JT Smith, my number 1 wrestler. Yes. Well, like I said, I have a really dark tan, almost like JT Smith. He's a little darker, but he's Sicilian. I got that American in me. A little bit of Dutch too. So
He reminds me of like a Family Guy, you know, like how Peter thinks he's Italian, goes bobbity boopity, bobbity boopity. And then for some reason he's Italian now. Papa John's. Like, what the fuck is
The fucking JT Smith, man. Yeah, Matt. When I first saw you, Matt, I was like, you kind of look like JT Smith in my head. I probably didn't say it out loud, but it was a thought. But bibbity boppity, more bibbity boppity and bobbity boopity later in the show. But before that, we got the Dudley Boys. The true Dudley Boys, finally. We got Bubba and Devon with, of course, with Big Dick and Sign Guy and maybe some other ones ringside. Against the Pit Bulls. Of course, the team of Pitbull number 1 and Pitbull number 2. So, and Francine's along with them. Of course.
I loved her outfit, by the way. Huge fan.
What'd you like about it?
Of the ring gear? Remember Linda Miles and the Bashams? And that whole like dominatrix character,
Shaniqua.
Yeah, she was Shaniqua, but on Tough Enough, she was Linda Miles. The whole dominatrix character that she did definitely had vibes of that, especially when she started just beating the shit out of whichever Dudley boy is in the wheelchair for whatever reason.
It was so that's
part of the match.
Francine's been through it, so I'm not going to give her, every show I watch, she gets either total elimination, she gets super kicked by Stevie Richards, or pile driven by Tom. She just gets her ass kicked every show. I think this is the first show where she finally got some comeuppance.
Have you already watched the one where she gets the pile driver from treatment and her boob pops out?
I don't remember the boob popping out.
I've seen like 9 times.
Just that clip.
Yeah, pretty much. And then the best part about Beulah checks herself. She's like, "Nope, that ain't happening to me. That shit ain't happening to me." But anyway, that was probably the best match I've ever seen in ECW history. Anyway, go ahead, guys. I'm sorry.
This match? This match is the best one?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, what was your favorite Pitbull spot in this one?
The best part of this match had nothing to do with Pitbull. It was literally Francine beating the living daylights out of some dude in this, and she was still kicking his ass. This match just kept going, and she was still beating the shit out of this poor guy for no reason. It just kept going. I was like, "This is whoever booked this."
Did Bubba say that his name was like Pussy Eater or something?
See, I was very confused about that as well, because he does this whole thing where he stutters and says, "My name is." And then somebody slaps. It's not Big Dick. Somebody else slaps him on the back, and then Bubba's like, I'm confused. What do you guys think he said?
When Devon came in and he's yelling,
it
was either something Devon said or Joey said on commentary about being orally fixated on Francine.
Yep.
Right.
So that was where I got the context of. He was like, "My name is Pussy Eater."
Pussy Eater Dudley? Is that his name is?
Bush Eater. Hey.
Yeah, Bush Eater. There you go. Maybe that's why she was so offended, because she's not. She's like, what Bush?
I mean, you can.
Is she more Pitbull number 1 or Pitbull number 2 down there?
Well, her. Okay, so the Pitbulls. We're even out here. This isn't a match. It's more crowd brawling. It felt like every time they cut to Pitbull number 2, he had a chair wrapped around his head. So I don't know what his deal is. Jewelry, right? He's not selling any chair shots, but he always has one around his neck. So, but again, chairs, bullshit, leather. Francine did the most action probably in this match, cheering and just kicking the other accessory Dudleys ringside.
Was this a match though? Like, did the match bell ring? Because I was at the end of the match. The way the match ended, I was like, because it didn't really end. I was like, did the match ever just get started, or did they just start beating the shit out of each other?
That's a good question. I didn't. I need to consult the win-loss record book on this one.
Hold on,
the fans lost.
So it does say it just says fought to a no contest.
Considering the ref got super bombed.
And why?
Because fuck him, I think, is the reason.
That's right.
Well, Devon cracked him with a chair.
Yeah, why?
Yeah. And then the Dudley Boys just went off and did whatever the fuck they did. And then the Pitbulls were like, yeah, fuck it, super power bomb, top rope.
Yeah. That's where it ends for whatever. So I don't know what this accomplished. I guess this is going to be the Pitbulls are strongly entering the running for worst wrestler of 1996 for me, because every match I watch of them is just nonsense. It's this every time.
There was one Irish whip and a sunset flip for some reason. in this match. It was so random. There's like brawling everywhere. Then like they cut back to ring and someone does a sunset flip. I'm like, whoa, what was this?
Dude, yeah, it was Devon. They're like, it's just mindless brawling in the crowd. Like you said, it's like a headlock. Let me hit the rope, sunset flip. It is like false finishes. It's like, but then
can you imagine that? He's calling in the ring like, oh, okay, Mahi straw cradle now. Mahi straw cradle. I'm gonna schoolboy.
I mean, possibly. But
10 minutes of arm work.
Fuck with the Dudleys.
That's such a great line. I love that. It took so long to deliver. I was like, wait, what? Here comes. Oh, so
Devon's like, one thing you're gonna learn, Bubba, and then one thing you guys are gonna learn, and now 3 things you're gonna learn. Thou shalt not kill. I don't remember what number 2 was, and 3 was thou shalt not fuck with the Dudleys.
Yeah,
so cool.
It's so weird in hindsight because Devon eventually just became like the background guy in the Dudleys. It feels like Bubba was always the more outspoken, but in the beginning, Devon's like he's probably like one of the best talkers in the company at this point, or at least one of the most entertaining, other than like New Jack maybe. But it's a weird dynamic. But yeah, this is his first match. Devon's in ECW. He debuted at the last show, so it's a fun little history there. But otherwise, the match kind of my pickle was soft during this one. But any other thoughts on this one, gang?
No.
Well, we got to get to Dangerous Devon Storm, I think, is what you guys want to do, right?
Skip.
Yes.
You guys familiar with Dangerous Devon Storm?
So I listened to Joey Styles explain who Dangerous Devon Storm was, and you're aware, and we're kind of on the same path. I'm a little ahead of you, but I've been watching WCW since the dawn of Nitro in 1995. And they kept saying he's from WCW, blah, 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 blah. I have never seen or heard of this man in my life. And I am in 1997 at November 1997. So yeah, he came and gone and never on an episode of Nitro that I can remember.
Yeah, and I'm watching Nitro and WCW like parallel to this. So I'm watching at the same time that this is happening. No clue who this guy is. I've never seen this guy in my life. I'm convinced he's never been in WCW. I'm convinced he's a plant. But unless he had like a weird gimmick or like a mask or something.
There you go.
Because
he was in those Wild Six Mans with like Hoovy and fucking Cyclope and motherfucking Psychosis.
We're not even there yet, WCW, man. We're not even at the Cruiserweight division.
Oh God, never mind.
Yeah, he hasn't even got that far yet.
Shit.
He's probably in the Dungeon of Doom somewhere. He's probably a stupid ass character in it.
He's the Yeti.
Probably. Maybe he was just on stilts the entire time. Maybe that's the realization.
Loch Ness. Maybe he was Loch Ness.
Definitely. But anyways, okay. Charlie, can you describe Devon Storm for the people listening?
Dude looked like fucking Leaf Cassidy. He looked like that outfit he had on, right? He was the most unintimidating fucker who would ever come out to the ring. And I'm just saying, like, please just drop him on his head once, Taz. Just like get this over with because it was pretty bad. He looked tall. He looked athletic. He had a mullet. He looked like Crush wearing black and green. But other than that, right? Crush, like you know how Crush used to come out with the orange and
Kona
purple.
Crush.
Yes, yeah. He looked like that to me. But other than that. Like, let's rewind 5 minutes ago. He sucked.
Yeah, it's when I saw this on paper, I was like, "Oh, cool! Taz is gonna squash another jobber, and we're gonna see another guy get paralyzed in the middle of the ring." But this was more of like a match, and I was kind of disappointed because I don't know, Devon Storm. I guess they had some kind of stock in this guy. I guess he had some sort of credibility, but I mean, to me, and Joey Styles on commentary and Taz after the match, they were both insinuating that he was like a Sabu ripoff. But nothing that he did resembled Sabu from what I saw, other than he did a plancha to the outside.
Yeah, he did a couple moves. There was like that springboard leg drop thing.
I guess.
Standing Taz. Like he just stole some of Sabu's shit.
Yeah, I guess that kind of stuff was new at the time. Yeah, because like nowadays everybody does that stuff. But yeah, I guess that's a good point. It was more specific.
I think the last time you and I watched an ECW show, Taz was still in a loincloth. I could be wrong.
Oh, that's a good question. I think he might have been wearing a long singlet. I think he was shaven on his head.
Yeah.
Don't know about anything else.
I think we may have done both of the hostile shitty takeovers, hostile city takeovers together. I think this is becoming like a tradition, and unfortunately, I think this is the last one. So,
yeah, it is. According to Peacock, it is.
But, we can go back and watch 1994 if you just want to.
Oh, get some Sandman as a surfer or whatever.
Yeah.
It sounds like something I want to do. But it's like I said, it's a match, and the match happened. But Bill Alfonso grabs the mic before the match, and he has a Flyers jersey, which I don't know if you guys are aware, but the Flyers are a hockey team in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. Apparently, these fellas in the crowd love them some Flyers, but Bill Alfonso doesn't. He's more of a Tampa Bay Lightning fan, which
fucking
is not
Tony Khan Mark.
He's so Bill Alfonso. He has a jersey, he stomps on it, it's whatever. I hate your hometown thing kind of stuff, but Bill Alfonso and his whistle is good stuff. And
it is not good stuff. The best part of this match was when Taz went to go for that suplex to the outside and Devon Storm completely missed the table.
Dude, is Devon Storm, is he dead? I think that killed him, actually. I think he might have passed away after that.
Googleable.
There, yes, like to your point, there was a table set up ringside. Taz tries to belly Devon Storm over the ropes through the table, but doesn't get enough.
Holy shit.
Uh-oh.
He's
Breaking
actually
news.
Cronus, isn't he?
No. Devon Storm is Crowbar.
What?
Oh.
I
That's
typed
fun.
in Devon Storm ECW, and the first thing that comes up, 6'1", 49 years old, Christopher Ford, Crowbar.
That's so funny. And I can see it now. That explains a lot of Crowbar's recent videos. This shot to the head he took. But wow, that's fun. I guess he's probably like a power plant guy in WCW. He's probably like on Saturday night is the thing.
There is a picture of dangerous Devon Storm with the Nitro graphic in like the thing as I'm scrolling over. So apparently he did have something on a Nitro one.
Okay.
Crazy. But yeah.
Did he lose to Goldberg? I mean, like, who's this fucker?
I hope so.
All right.
So Crowbar gets concussed on the concrete floor. And we got to shout out the chair moonsault that Crowbar does earlier in the match, which looked pretty. I mean, he's stealing from JT Smith here, which is kind of shenanigans, but I'll allow it. But yeah, Taz, after Devon lands on the concrete, he gets counted out. But Taz is not satisfied with that, so he goes outside and chokes him out on the floor, as he is surely already knocked out. And then Taz gets in the ring and mocks Sabu. Sabu was in the building. I don't know why they didn't have a little thing, but yeah, good stuff, right, gang?
You never, got done having sex and thought, oh, hey, I forgot to choke her, and then just choked her after the sex was over? Not a thing.
I've choked like at dinner and stuff, but
Wait, what?
huh? Overcooked the meat or whatever. But next match we got not JT Smith. We got little Guido. We got Guides out here taking on Axel Rotten. It's the I guess the official debut of the FBI. They kind of came together at the last show, but I think this is the first time they like referred to the FBI. JT Smith is annoying, is a note that I took. I'm so sick of JT Smith. I need him to go somewhere. Little Guido's awesome.
Fantastic, and this was a racist ass match. I'm just saying.
Why do you say that?
Because they were against the Italians the entire time, and I don't appreciate it.
Oh, that's right. You are Italian.
The commentary, Axel Rotten, and the shit he was like, no, it was unfair to my boys JT Smith and Little Guido, the full-blooded Sicilians.
Yeah, they needed more Chuck Palumbo, I think. But
Johnny Stamboli, maybe.
Oh, the bull? Love the bull.
Can I keep going? Big Sally Granziano.
Oh, is that Big Guido?
Yeah. Fuck, I don't know. I just pulled that on my ass. I hope there's somebody named that. Holy shit.
There was the guy, I think it was the second one night stand that WWE did, that him and the Big Show had a face off. Wasn't it like Big Guido? Wasn't that his name?
Oh, there's a Big Guido also. The guy I'm thinking about is like this, like big old. Oh, I gotta Google it because.
Oh, you're talking about
big dude, like PN News looking motherfucker,
like the fat dude. The
yeah.
Cocksucker. What's his name? I've covered a few of his matches. It'll come to me.
Devon Storm.
Well, yeah. What's his name?
Big Sal E. Graziano. See, I was right.
He had a different name in ECW. Who cares? Somebody will call him.
Oh, yeah. Please call him now. 999-999. Please call.
So yeah, Guido, Axel Rotten. What'd you guys make of this contest?
I have 3 notes. But go ahead, Charlie.
Oh no,
I said most Asian to least Asian, so you get to go first.
Okay.
So I had one note the whole time, and it was the most entertaining part of the match was JT Smith taking an Italian flag and whipping Straw Hat Guy in the front row. That's my favorite part of the match. He was just beating that poor guy with a flag. I'm like, why? This is so sacrilegious. And then you're beating up I keep saying passenger. You're beating up a audience member with a flag. I'm like, all right, this is pretty cool.
I want to know when Joe Gertner goes from whatever the fuck he's doing to being the quintessential stud muffin of wrestling, because I cannot wait for that.
Yes.
I thought the most entertaining part of the match was when they got a pie from, and all I can think of is when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie. That's amore.
But it wasn't a pizza pie. It was just a pie.
Yeah, it was just a pie. And this also felt like it was way longer than 6 minutes. Jesus Christ.
Well, the pre-match was kind of, they had to introduce the Italians the right way and all that stuff. You have JT Smith abusing Joe Gertner with the flag and all of that stuff. But yeah, Axel ends up winning with the Dominator for some reason. I'm sick of this Axel Rotten character. But I mean, Guido showed some chops in here because, like, obviously it's a very gimmicky act, but Guido was in there like wrestling, like it was like legit stuff. Like he was showing that he was legit. So I enjoyed it. But like in the middle of him like locking in submissions and beating the shit out of Axel Rotten, he would like go over to JT Smith for a break and get a little kiss on the cheek. Because I guess, is that what Italians do? Do they just go over to their brother or cousins and get kisses when
we're very affectionate people.
Okay, you have a very kissable head.
I see, and I get kissed on the head a lot.
If I ever meet you, I'm going to grab you by the face and kiss you on the head.
I will be okay with that.
You guys want me to
not have an issue?
You guys want me to give you some time alone? I mean,
I want you to watch. I want you to be Sandman.
Can you get back into that closet and then just use your tears as lube as we flirt without you?
There you go. What? Yeah. Now I'm gonna have a clip of him coming out of the closet to use. There you go.
Or what? Don't promise me a good time.
Well, I know.
Not do it.
Charlie comes out of the closet. It's gonna be the title of this episode. Lure him in. Lure him in.
I hate you both. There was even the beginning of the match was wild because like right away Guido runs at Axel and Axel back by drops him, nearly drops him on his fucking head, and I'm like, what was the point of this? You're gonna kill the guy right away. You're right in the beginning of the match. I'm like, all right, whatever. This and like Axel Rotten looks so confused without glass on his hands taped to his fist. The whole match, he was just like, "What do I do now? I'm not killing anybody. No one's getting stabbed. When do I cut myself?"
No barbed wire baseball bats or anything. Just got to do like wrestling moves. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy that the one time people get injured in the ring more so than the outside. So maybe that's why they spend most of the show fighting on the outside.
There you go.
Safety is what they're after. This Extreme Championship Wrestling. But
I really miss the Axel Eaton Rotten feud that we together. Yeah. After watching Axel Rotten wrestle someone else besides Ian, I really missed the Axel Rotten Ian Rotten feud.
Dude, they're really pushing this Axel Rotten guy. I mean, he's like on every show. He fought RVD at his debut. He had a title match against Sandman. He fought somebody at the last show. I forget.
Where the fuck did Ian go?
Who gives a shit? He's probably. Wait, who's the one that died? I think it was Axel. Well, it's Googleable
later on.
Here we go.
Let's see that. Axel. Let's see what they're doing nowadays. Let's get the hubbub. Axel Rotten has passed. He passed away in 2016.
Oh.
All right. Oh, he's in TNA. Oh, that's Hardcore Justice, of course. Well, we'll get to that one day. Can't wait for that. But until then, we got Guido. We got JT Smith. They're in the ring. Because Axel wins, and JT's like, hey, bada bang, bobbity boobity, bobbity bibbity. And then he's like, I'm going to get Guido to kick your ass. He's like, Axel just beat him. I don't know. This is all stupid, but any other thoughts?
Ian Rotten wasn't even actually related to Axel Rotten.
Excuse me? You might as well just tell me Santa wasn't real.
He was trained by Axel Rotten, but his real name is John Benson Williams.
Oh, don't tell me that.
And he's not even British.
What? Well, I didn't know he was supposed to be British, but still.
His biological brother is Devon Dudley.
Oh, look at that. We'll save that for our offshoot Rotten retrospective podcast. It's behind the paywall. But we got the main event next. We got Sandman and Too Cold Scorpio. Well, it's my main event. Sandman and Too Cold Scorpio, along with Missy Hyatt, taking on the Bruise Brothers. Not the Blue Brothers, the Bruise Brothers.
No, it was the Blue Brothers as well. And Skull and 8 Ball and Ron and Don Harris.
It's not their name, Matthew.
But they're all the same people.
No. They have different names.
Yeah. I looked it up last night.
No, they're different. We got Don Harris. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the Big Show split in half.
Better versions of the Big Show. I'm a big Harris guy. I don't know about you guys. I'm a big fan of Skull and 8 Ball.
Was it the Nazi thing they did that you really liked, or
that was mainly the part that really drew me in. But the wrestling was fine along with that, I guess. I was more of a fan of their with Zebekiah. Was that what his name was? As their manager?
Yeah.
Dutch Mantel.
Yep, there you go.
Can't forget that WrestleMania Classic with the Allied Powers from the Bruise Brothers. So the entrance here, again, like I said, it's probably more notable than the match.
Probably longer than the match.
Yeah, I mean, lots of. My thing here, Sandman looks like he's just actively coming through the entire thing. The look on his face, and I can't blame him, to be honest. But yeah, what were your guys' thoughts on the presentation of Sandman, Scorpio, and Missy Hyatt here?
I don't know how they managed to fit in a WrestleMania style entrance into a tiny little bingo hall, but that's what it felt like, because it took like fucking 10 minutes, and it was just listening to, what was it, Enter Sandman, but not the fun way, because Enter Sandman's like, it's like everyone's like, like head bobbing. This is just weird, staring at each other, like gazing through his eyes and shit, and like it couldn't get, like, I was just thinking to myself, it just couldn't get any more weird. And then Too Cold Scorpio comes out, and then they dance. It was Missy Hyatt. I'm like, all right, it got weirder. I don't know. Maybe you guys can make heads or tails of this one.
So I wrote Sandman and Missy Hyatt almost fuck. I'm assuming her name is Missy Hyatt because that's where she spends most of her time, is in the Hyatt.
Nice.
Joey says Sandman and Too Cold Scorpio have nothing in common, but I think Missy Hyatt is what they have in common.
That's what it seemed like.
Sandman had a big smile on his face watching Too Cold Scorpio and Missy Hyatt dance together because he's a cuck.
Sand cuck.
And then they DP'd her to close out the entrance.
Is it a DP? Oh, I guess it would be a DP. I guess you're penetrating.
It was a Missy Hyatt sandwich, right?
That's what Joey Styles says. So here's my play-by-play, the notes that I took. Missy and Sandman have sex against the ring post. Scorpio does the same thing inside the ring. Sandman is a cuck. Never mind. Missy goes back and gives Sandman a beeger. Yeah. Okay, we got an Eiffel Tower. Joey Styles calls it a Missy Hyatt sandwich. So this is the work rate that we pay to see from ECW.
What really confused me though is Joey Styles on commentary once the match actually got started goes, "Come on, we know this isn't going to be a classic Australian rules tag. Like, did tag team matches get invented in Australia? Is that?"
Yeah, it's Bronson Reed and Rhea Ripley, I think, invented it.
Buddy Murphy.
Yeah.
Speaking of cucks,
were the Bushwhackers? No, they were New Zealand, right?
Yeah,
that's the only
same thing.
It's like the only Australian team I could think of from this time. But the match gets underway. Yeah, like you said, Joey's like, it's gonna go into the crowd, but I feel like it didn't, or maybe it did. It was like the least crowd fighting match of the card so far, I feel like, at this point.
It definitely did break down, and everyone just got in the ring and started beating the shit out of each other, though. Like, within a minute, he called it. He's like, within a minute, tags will be out. Yeah. Scorpio's dodging a double big boot. And...
Yeah, it like attempts to be a wrestling match in the beginning. And then, like you said, it breaks down. And at some point, Sandman, the Bruise Brothers try to rip his shirt off so they can whip him in the back. And as they're whipping Sandman with a belt, Missy Hyatt gets on the apron and starts laughing and rubbing her bean to this. And I'm like, okay, is she like aligned with the Bruise Brothers, or is this just a BDSM thing? It seems like just a BDSM kind of thing, which no kink shaming here.
Well, it's a cuck thing. Like, she likes to see her man get humiliated and help in the humiliation while she fucks Too Cold Scorpio and he watches.
I'm really having a different perspective on Sandman as I watch all these shows. I did not I did not anticipate this becoming the man that this guy was, but also at the same time, not super surprised. But yeah, Sandman, after he's done getting whipped, he goes back over to Missy and pours beer on her tits and motorboats him. And then he turns around and gets kicked in the face. And at this point, it's like, this is the most ECW match I've ever seen, I think. Then into the crowd we go. We have Scorpio diving into the crowd from the ring. They fight around everywhere. They get back in the ring. Scorpio hits a moonsault on one of the bruisers for the win. So Sandman and Scorpio get the Duke here. But I don't know if the match really matters as much as, me getting shoved up watching this. So
we all won.
you know?
I don't know. Oh man, it's it happened. I don't know what to say. It was just like another brawl. You're right, and then for some reason, the whole whipping thing. The like Missy Hyatt going like, I'm just thinking about like who booked this match. Like who's like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna whip him, and she's gonna get really turned on. You're gonna get motorboated, and then this is gonna happen, and then that's gonna happen, and like, give me a second. All right, so now, okay, now this is what's gonna happen. Next part of the match, and like I'm like, what the fuck was that? I liked it.
Is that the noise you make when you pull your pud?
Wee. I'm gonna go outside.
Your new clean office. You're just disgracing it.
Give me a second.
Go back in your closet, man. What? Why do you have paper towels on the floor? Is that how you clean? That's gonna give you some chafing.
Yes.
You can't hear me, you didn't have your headphones
No
on.
shit. Like I was gonna say, it's like those people that like blow their nose with paper towels instead of tissue paper. Like
Yeah,
it gets a job.
Just gonna rub it raw, trying to clean up with that.
It gets a job done. Okay.
is that a cup on your shelf, like a jock strap?
Oh, this right here.
Yeah,
I was gonna put up a bunch of DVDs, to
DVD. You want DVD? Fucking stereotypical Asian.
Oh, you were gonna just put a bunch of DVDs up, not in their cases,
just random DVDs because like I don't know where all the I have no idea where all the cases went. So I was like, I'm just gonna put a bunch of discs up right here and like just see how it goes.
What Ring of Honor show was that?
That was 7th anniversary.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I have a hard on for this guy right here. Any of his matches,
Homicide?
I love.
A little homicide action?
No.
Oh, that looked like homicide. Who is that?
Kenta.
Oh, Kenta.
I
forgot
that
what
is
Kenta like.
Hideo Itami, sir.
Yeah.
Oh my god, where do you live again? Like, sir, I'm a fucking. Yeah.
I love how you're like building your office or whatever, and that's your centerpiece is a Ring of Honor DVD out of the case on your shelf.
I don't care. I love me some Nigel. I love me some Kenta.
Okay.
Fuck.
I'm all about it. No hate.
Don't you?
Well, I know what you guys are thinking. You're like, well, this ECW show, it's been pretty good so far, but not quite enough cinder blocks to the penis. Well,
what?
I'm here to fix that for you. We got Brian Lee, primetime Brian Lee versus Tommy Dreamer. Looking like the fake, still looking like the fake Undertaker, even in this getup. But
looking like the fake American Badass Undertaker. However, Kyle, I have a question for you.
3 inches flaccid, 2 erect.
How many royal families are there in wrestling?
More than one, for sure. For sure.
Including the Harris family, because Brian Lee is actually cousins with the Bruise Brothers in real life. Huh? So Chain, 8 Ball, and Skull are all actually related.
It's pretty cool. Those are pretty cool names too.
Yeah.
Really incites fear in their opponent.
Who's the 4th disciple of Apocalypse?
Ooh.
I'll give you a hint. Devon Storm.
It actually works. I like that, actually.
I mean, it's a good hint when you think about it, because it was Crush, right?
And Crowbar fits right in with Chains, 8 Ball, and Skull.
There you go.
Look at that. Look at that. We're just putting this all together. So, Pud. We got Brian Lee, Tommy Dreamer Brian Lee is the newest member of Raven's flock, so he's here to take out Tommy for Raven, I suppose.
Raven's Nest.
Raven. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's not the flock until WCW, right?
Yeah, you'll get there. I'm about there. So,
but I'm almost there. So we got Tommy Dreamer starting off with a stunner with a chair, which was fun. The innovator of violence, like puts the chair like on his shoulder and stuns Brian Lee. I thought that was
convoluted setup.
Look, we've seen a lot of bullshit from. We've seen JT Smith try to do backflips with chairs and to hit
because he's
people.
Fantastic.
Okay. So Tommy's trying some stuff and they fight into the crowd. Shocker. But we at least get a little stage dive from Tommy Dreamer. But otherwise, I thought this was, as far as the brawls in this show go, I thought this was one of the better ones. What you guys think of it?
Undertaker defeats Dreamer. That's all I wrote.
The concerto at the end was pretty cool. Where I think Brian Lee holds up the two chairs and then the Blues Brews, whatever the fuck brothers, like kick him in the head. I thought that was pretty cool. Other than that, next match.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got to talk about the Undertaker coming out here and obliterating the referee with a clothesline. Tommy, I mean, they're doing some wrestling in there. Tommy goes for or Brian Lee goes for a backslide. Tommy like backflips over him into a DDT. So it's like, wow, Tommy Dreamer as the work rate guy in this time period.
He did accidentally do a bulldog. That's right. He did a bulldog on the stage. I was sitting there like, that's the most ECW bulldog ever. Like
it is.
You can't do it in the fucking ring. But yeah, you're right. He's wrestling. So give him that.
He's hardcore.
Innovating.
He's hardcore. A couple DDTs in the ring. Well, Tommy hits one DDT and then goes for the pin. And then the Bruise Brothers come in to stop it. And then they do like the whole thing over again. They do it like a second time. And then eventually Brian Lee puts a cinder block on Tommy's genitals and hits the cinder block with a chair. And that gets the win. So I guess that's his finisher. Cinder block to the penis. But and the cinder block it's not this like new age cinder block with like Swerve stomping on Keith Lee or when Eric Bischoff stomped JR's head with a cinder block. No, this is it felt like a real deal cinder block. And yeah, so that's the thing that happened. Got me hard.
How else do you end a match?
Cinder block to the gooch. It's the only way to do it. It's the only way to do it. Well, now that we've had all the brawling, we get some more brawling, but more entertaining, I think. Probably one of the better ECW matches that I've seen so far in my rewatch.
Best match on the card.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. We got Sabu versus Rob Van Dam. So I described this match because it wasn't particularly smooth. It felt like a shoot wrestling match, but not like MMA. It felt just like if you like tried to do pro wrestling stuff to somebody like on the street. But it was well done, I thought. I mean, Sabu and RVD, I mean, they would go on to have a ton of matches, but this is kind of a coming out party for RVD as far as having like big matches on these shows. But
kind of like the coming out party that he had from the closet.
I fucking hate you, dude. Seriously, come on. Just, God damn it.
He's trying to.
If I had known you were going to come out of the closet, I would have had streamers or something ready.
It's Pride Month. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
It's the time to do it. But
I love everyone.
Did you love the match though? I'm gay.
The match I thought was awesome. I can't really describe it other than like it was just pretty much doing whatever it takes to beat their guy. It's like it was plotting because like they're doing all these high spots and then it gets slow because you're really damaging somebody, but then they would do the most insane things like, all right, I can't beat him. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna dive it into the ring, or I'm gonna do a triple jump plancha here. I'm gonna do a triple jump moonsault here, and like RVD's offense is just so smooth. Like he just makes a leg drop look amazing, and I was just sitting there like I just couldn't stop watching. It was pretty good. It's just back and forth,
especially compared to like the other wrestling that we've seen on the card. Like it's so clear that RVD is like so many levels above everybody else.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the spots in this match are used in ECW video packages or like the opening for like ECW TV going forward. Like there were at least 3 or 4 times where I saw something. I'm like, oh, I know I've seen that before in like a video package. Just I think Sabu flipping over the top rope with the second leg drop to put RVD through it. There was a dive to the outside from RVD. There were quite a few things in here that I know I've seen before in just like little clips in video packages.
Yeah, I mean, this is like represents what I expect from ECW, at least, because like there's a point where Sabu and RVD are fighting in the crowd, like in the front row, and then Sabu grabs a chair, tosses it into the ring like perfectly, like leaps from the barricade into the ring, sets up the chair, like all like fluid motions here, then hits the ropes, runs up the chair, hops on the rope, jumps to the outside, just looks so clean. Like this is like peak Sabu stuff here. And there's another point where RVD's sit up on the top rope, and Sabu has a chair set up, and he runs up the chair onto the rope and goes for a Hurricane Rana, but RVD like jumps around him or over him or something, and then takes the chair and throws it at Sabu, and the chair goes like cascading into the crowd, probably decapitates somebody watching. So just like a lot of fun spots like that. To your point, it's a lot of like high spots, but it still felt very entertaining, especially in comparison to the other stuff on the show. Very unique.
I really hope it decapitated, and I know it didn't because I know he's in the next match too. But there was one guy in the crowd that looked kind of like Just Incredible, but like broke man Just Incredible, like today's Just Incredible. And he really wanted someone to take his chair, and nobody would take his chair. Like they just completely ignored him and grabbed it from somebody else. And there were 5 times or 6 times during the show where I saw him, and he's just like reaching over the barricade, like take my chair, and they're like, "Ah, fuck you."
You got to bring a more fun weapon. You got to bring a plastic dinosaur, a toaster, something.
A pie apparently works.
There we go. So, yeah. So fun stuff here. Like you got like a lot of dives through tables and some wrestling in the ring, a couple suplexes, some stuff off the top rope. But ultimately, Sabu wins with a beautiful triple jump moonsault. So runs up the chair, jumps like halfway across the ring, lands on the top rope, moonsaults back halfway across the ring, lands on RVD perfectly, and yeah, so Sabu gets the win with that. But RVD came off looking really good in this match, I thought. By the way, both guys are like broken. Like RVD has a broken wrist. Sabu, I'm sure everything is coccyx is probably fucked up. I think Joey had said he had like a bruised tailbone. Yeah, so this is like not even okay, not even. Sabu sounds like a top to me. I would, you know what? What do you guys think? Sabu top, bottom, or verse?
See, when I think of Sabu, I think of someone who's really into like pain, and so I'm going to say bottom.
It's a good point, actually. Charles?
I don't know, but I don't know, but I could, you know, with how Joey Style always names all his moves, I could tell he's probably giving him like the Arabian, like Dirty Sanchez, or the Arabian, like, because everything he does is the Arabian something, like the Arabian, like, so. But I'd say he'd be on top because he would literally like just jump off top rope and then slide his dick into something.
Is that what he did? I missed that in this match.
That's what I'm just saying. He probably would.
He would try it. He would try it, but
or is he really, or does he go like this, and he starts tickling the guy's balls? So maybe he's a bottom guy. I don't know.
You know, you both pose really good arguments. I'll think about that and get back to you. But after the match, Sabu offers his hand to RVD, but RVD rejects it and walks away. So it seems like we're setting up more matches between these two, which I'm all about. So yeah, good stuff all around, I thought.
I know how Sabu feels. I've offered my hand to Kyle many times, and every time he just walks away.
Oh,
last time he said mouth or nothing.
I was literally going to say that. Look at that. That's how you know it's accurate.
You guys want me to leave you alone again, guys? I'm here.
Let's all get in the closet. Let's just 3 minutes of heaven or whatever.
Again, don't promise me the good time.
But
we're good.
No, go ahead.
No, not the deal's free.
Well, that brings us to the main event. We got the ECW heavyweight title on the line. We got the champion Raven defending against Shane Douglas, the franchise. So this match has been built up pretty well. I mean, Shane came back from the whole Dean Douglas stuff and has kind of been fighting his way back to the title, and is kind of somewhat of a culmination of that. But we got Raven with his nest. Go ahead.
Are you not going to acknowledge the major thing that happened in this episode right off the bat?
No, I think we're just going to talk about the wrestling in this.
No, this is about the wrestling.
Please, go ahead.
We closed a fucking ECW show with an ECW title match.
I didn't even think about that. That is Is that the first time? You know what? I think the last show might have. I can't. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. It closed with a stupid tag team match.
Yeah.
Wow. I might have to go consult the history books, but this might be a first ever.
Because we kept, every time we've done a show, we talked about how like the ECW title is always like in the middle of the fucking show. And it's like, why would your title not main event yours? It main evented.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, kind of. The real main event was something else. But
Yeah, I mean, for the longest time, I mean, it'd be an ECW show, and like the fourth match would be like Shane Douglas defending against like Tully Blanchard or some stupid shit. So finally got some good heavyweight title programs here. So it's a good sign for the future. But Blue Meanie's assless chaps. Gotta note that. Was a big fan of his wiggling and jiggling from the Blue Meanie. You got the Big Daddy Fool, Stevie Richards, and Shane Douglas out here with Kimono Wanalea, his new gal, I guess, because Raven beat the shit out of her last show. So proud of her for coming back. But
Charlie, do you know any Wanaleas? Like, is that a common last name?
Oh yeah, 100%. But that's what they tell me at the strip clubs. I don't know what the real name is though.
It sounds like a Thai last name. I can see that. Wanalea.
Because it's long. That's the only thing that's long about us. Oh god.
We have tiny wieners. Look at that. Look at that. We're yellow. So Shane Douglas grabs the mic and he's babbling, talking about whatever. But he was like, I guess it's all his master plan for Beulah and Kimona to act like they were in love with Raven, because they both have kicked him to the curb. I might need some explaining here. So I guess Kimona and Beulah are together now, as was represented by their scissoring in the middle of the ring. Thoughts?
All right, so
Please.
You've already gotten to, because from context here, Beulah, I'm pregnant. Like, that's happened, all right?
Right. Yep.
So Shane is saying Beulah was never pregnant. What's been going on is the entire time that Beulah was fucking Raven and then cheating on Raven with Tommy, she was also cheating on Raven and Tommy with someone else.
Right.
Being
right.
Kimono Wanalea, which she, reveals when Tommy's like, who is it? Who is he? Oh, it's not a he. It's me. Like, so yeah. I don't know why Shane Douglas thought that Tommy Dreamer was going to have an issue with the fact that the girl that he's been fucking behind Raven's back is fucking a hot Asian stripper. Like, I don't.
All right.
But
well, so I couldn't tell, because I think the goal of Shane was to get in the head of Raven. I don't think it was necessarily to hurt Tommy, but maybe he just didn't care. I don't know. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm gay. But so yeah, so that happens, and then we get the whole I'll take them both. I'm hardcore. He grabs them both by the hair. Yes.
He had no choice though, because Shane Douglas said, if you can't hear the truth, then you're not hardcore, Tommy.
Right.
So he had to hear him out. And I mean, it takes a big man like Tommy Dreamer to handle two ladies at one time. Not everyone can do it.
Tommy doesn't strike me as a guy that's packing though.
He did, however, in real life, hook Beulah McGillicuddy somehow. So
that is true. That is true. Not Kimona though. I don't know where Kimona is now.
In the back, fucking them both during this match.
Oh, I see.
She's working at Blackjack's next week.
She's in Charlie's closet right there.
You stay down and you shut up.
Actually, I do think she is at Blackjack's next week with her sister, Riley, and they're managed by their brother, Will.
I have to go and confirm this.
How do you kick people from this thing?
Yeah.
I'll figure that
You're
out
gonna kick
later.
me. You're gonna kick me. No, don't do it.
You didn't want to do the Really Want to Lay Ya and Will Want to Lay Ya?
I wasn't going to, but I'm glad you did. I'm happy you did. Thanks.
We could just ignore the
that?
rest of this. Somebody vacuuming.
Oh, that's like Kimona trying to break out of the closet. Like, no, you stay back there.
That's my vibrator. It just accidentally turned on.
Is it gas powered? Jesus Christ.
It is. You got to pull start it.
So
the parallel is well, you know how Heyman came out with this shit, right? You know how long he was sitting on this let's just say storyline, because remember Miro, Lana, and Liv executed almost the exact same way. It's like you know, Lana cheating on Miro with guess who? With Liv. And you know, like, you know, just like Heyman's waiting to just pull this shit off again. Like,
well, you're even more right than you thought, because she was cheating on Miro with Bobby and cheating on Bobby with Liv.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yes, exactly.
So Miro is Raven.
Yep.
Bobby Lashley is Tommy Dreamer, and Liv is Kimono Wanalea.
Yep. And all full circle for Heyman. So he waited a whole do the math. I don't know, like 24 years to do it again.
Man,
good for
him.
He
didn't even get a wedding out of it.
Oh man.
There was a cake though. There was a big cake, so that's fun. No cakes here. Well, depends how you look at it. Big Blue Meanie is there, so
cake.
That's a lot of cake.
That's all bakery.
Would you eat that cake?
Yes. Booty's booty. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, so god damn it, later.
Everything okay, Charlie? Everything okay at home? Are you sexually frustrated? He's in down dog position.
I think he got married to Don't Wanna.
Okay.
That did not work.
How's Don't Wanna doing, Charlie?
What's that?
How's your wife
doing? Don't.
She's using that vibrator.
Yeah, there you go. Apparently very good. So the wrestling happens in this match at some point.
Did it?
After the scissoring and etc. that happens, the triple kiss, all that stuff. So I'm all boned up, ready for a world title match. And so I guess the story is Shane Douglas. Raven's distraught, I guess, although you can't really tell because he's always has a monotone facial expression.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if he was sad that Tommy's getting two girls and he gets nothing, or if that's just who he is as a person.
He seemed pretty indifferent to me, but it was displayed through because like Douglas had the advantage in the wrestling in the beginning, so I guess that's due to Raven being distracted. Again, more crowd fighting, as per every other match of this show. They even fight to the outside of the building, but there's no cameras out there. So, fuck us, I guess. Don't know what happened out there, but they fight back to the ring eventually. And Franchise hits a pile driver onto a Raven. And then Tommy Dreamer and Brian Lee all of a sudden are randomly in the ring, like cuts to the left, and then they're fighting, and then it cuts back. So there's a whole bunch of distractions. The ref is distracted. Shane hits the belly to belly on Raven, goes for the pin, but the ref isn't looking, and then he eventually turns, and it's a 2 count. I mean, I thought this match was pretty good, like the ending stretch here. As far as like drama and like stakes, I thought this. I mean, RVD and Sabu is probably more entertaining, but I thought this was a pretty good match. What about you guys?
I just always, my biggest pet peeve with no DQ matches is like doing things behind the ref's back.
Yes.
Like there's like distractions here and there. I'm like, man, they're not gonna disqualify you. Just go in there with the Uzi and just lay him out. Fuck. So like all these like like this overbooking. I mean, yeah, it was fun to watch. Like it made it a more entertaining match, but at the same time, just like the fuck, just the ref doesn't give a shit. Just go and do it. Like bring in 9 other guys. I don't give a fuck. Like okay, bring in Brian Lee, bring out the whole flock, bring out Raven, Shane, everybody. Oh, even though Crowbar, yeah, good Lord. and then just get over with. But it did make for an entertaining match. It worked, so whatever. So I just like, all right, I'll ignore that.
Yeah,
it was decent.
Dildo's out of gas now, so
yeah.
I thought the brawling into the parking lot was interesting, seeing as they couldn't really film it. So like there was a good 2 or 3 minutes of the show where we just didn't see what was going on. We were just filming the crowd and the ceiling at some point. But yeah, the in-ring work itself was cool. Like Shane Douglas can wrestle, Raven can wrestle. Like,
yeah. And for the longest time, like these ECW title matches just felt like Sandman and Cactus Jack were just bumbling all over the place. And feels good to see like competent wrestlers fighting for the biggest prize in ECW. So I enjoyed it for the most part, especially towards the end when like Tommy's in there and he's like him and Shane hugged for some reason, but then Shane turns on him with a belly to belly.
That was the post-credit scene.
Well, that was during the match, I think.
No, that was the end credit scene, wasn't it?
Was it?
Or no? I thought that happened at the end credits, and then, or maybe it was something else. Maybe that was, Yeah, because Shane was all pissed off, even though he saw Tommy get rid of, Chains, Brian Lee, Undertaker, whatever you want to call him. That Tommy was out there for whatever reason.
Well, he was upset because Tommy and Brian were fighting, and this distracted the referee, so the referee couldn't make the count when Shane had Raven pinned. So they're pissed, but Tommy's like, I'm sorry. And then Shane's like, oh, we're good. And then they hug, and then he slams him. But Tommy deserved it, I guess you could say. So Raven and Shane, they trade roll-ups in the ring. So we're getting some like false finishes in this match. So it's just like, okay, we're actually doing some wrestling stuff here, which is fun. Shane locks in a figure 4 at some point. By the way, Raven is fresh off of his gout. He had a big foot thing. So I guess he's mostly recovered, but not completely. So Shane like takes off Raven's boot to like expose the foot and then locks in a figure 4. But Meanie,
does that make the figure 4 more potent if you're not wearing boots when you do it?
Yeah, I don't think the figure 4 really affects the foot. Isn't it more like the calf and the knee? But I don't know. Don't know how the science works. Shane would know more than I. We get a Meanie salt from Blue Meanie as he tries to break up the figure 4, but Shane gets out of the way. Shane then locks in a half crab on Raven, but Stevie's in there with a Stevie kick. Raven makes the pin for a 2 count. So we got some good drama here at the end. But then Shane takes off. Well, then Shane takes off Raven's boot. Then the Bruise Brothers get. So everybody's getting involved in this match, and the ref doesn't see any of it somehow. But Raven eventually takes his boot and whacks Shane in the head with it, and that gets to 1, 2, 3. So Raven wins with, I guess, was a loaded boot, and which is funny because this same weekend is the weekend of In Your House 7, where fucking Mad Dog Vachon's leg was used in the main event of that pay-per-view. So I don't know who. I guess they stole from ECW a little bit. They up the ante, but
there was somebody in the crowd too that had a cane that just kept like shoving the cane in Shane Douglas's face until he took it to hit Raven with it. And even the ref like came through and like tried to push the person away and their cane, and they just reached around him and they're like, "Take my fucking cane." He's like, "All right, fine, here."
Serious business going on in here. This isn't a fucking pit bulls match.
What was there was a WWE video game where you could get weapons from the crowd.
That was one of the that was like a semi-recent one. That was like one of the early SmackDown versus Raw matches or games, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, I
don't know. It was before it was before like EA Sports took over.
Yeah, that was fun.
You could take like stop signs from the crowd and championship belts.
Apparently now in AEW you can build a bomb.
Wait, did I miss an episode? Wait, what?
Yeah, in the new AEW game, you can like skateboard over people and throw bombs at each other
to break up pins.
Yeah,
like,
you're throwing bombs at people to break. Oh my god!
John Moxley has an IED that he just throws into the ring and it breaks up the pin.
I kind of want to play this game now. It sounds kind of funny, actually.
For that, it's worth it. You get to take women and put them in thumbtacks and make them all bloody. So,
like Jericho.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, so Raven retains the title. And then, well, I guess first there's some aftermath shenanigans, but any other thoughts on the match itself?
It just needed an interruption by the Gangstas and the Eliminators.
Because the third part of the brawl.
The third part of that brawl just needed to happen. I needed to hear Natural Born Killers one more time, and then that would just made just full circle. It would have been the perfect event for me. But thank you, RVD and Sabu, for entertaining me, because everything else was kind of like, all right, I'm good no matter what.
Yeah. That was
where was 911? He didn't come out.
He's gone.
I thought it was Brian Lee the whole time. I thought it was Brian Lee.
He's not in WCW because I think doesn't he become the Wall like in late WCW?
So 911 definitely left because him and Taz were feuding, and then they had to cut that feud short because 911 left. But it's Googleable. Alfred Poling. Let's see here. So he left in 1996 after a fallout with Paul Heyman over somebody's treatment of the ring crew. He wrestled for WCW in 1996 and 1997 as Tombstone, Sledgehammer, and Big Al. So,
okay.
Not a Big Al guy, I guess.
But not the Big Al who feuded with Tank Abbott in the early 2000s.
No, that's an entirely different Big Al. I wonder if the Big Al's ever faced each other. Now that's a dream match. Now that's a dream match. But after the match, Shane is pissed. Obviously, he just lost. He's like, the ECW heavyweight title is the only championship that means anything in wrestling. And of course, this prompts the ECW TV champion, Too Cold Scorpio, to come out. And he says, hey, man, the TV title means more to me than anything. And Shane's like, hey, man, I don't want that title. I want the other title. And Shane begins to walk away. And then he turns around and attacks Scorps and leaves him laying. Sandman, Scorpio's partner, comes out. Shane beats the hell out of him. Shane canes both of them. I think he gives them both the belly to belly. And I think he pile drives Scorpio on the world title, or on the TV title, I think. So I guess we're setting up a TV title match between those two. Looks like. So,
but then he took the belt and he said, "Here's your shitty belt." Like he still doesn't want it. So I don't know what. It felt like one of those weird Marvel end credit scenes where like you're just eating shawarma for no reason and it has no effect on the fucking rest of the show.
Yeah, this was a very shawarma ending. I would agree with you.
The DVD extra had Missy Hyatt playing with her shawarma as they were getting beat up. So
you joke, but that's definitely a thing.
That's probably what happened. Yeah. It's like,
Charlie, I'm a little disappointed.
It looked like salami. All right, what?
I thought when we did this show that you were going to be our Tommy Dreamer. And multiple points, you have had the chance to be like, I'll take you both. I'm hardcore. And what did you do? You're like, I'm going to leave you guys alone if you guys want some time to yourselves.
What a prude.
Yeah.
You do that voice way too good, by the way.
I'm just trying to, scissor kimono wanna lay over here as Bela McGillicuddy, and you're not helping.
This is all gonna happen off the screen. I don't live my life in front of everybody, okay? But so
you showed your feet on my show before.
I guess not, but god damn it, there goes my argument. But no, check your DMs. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be a sandwich, and I get to be your Missy Hyatt. Wait,
you're gonna send us a picture of your sandwich, your roast beef sandwich?
God,
do you want to be Too Cold Scorpio, or do you want to be Sandman in that situation?
Are you pointing at me?
Yeah, you, because he said he's going to be Missy Hyatt, so that only leaves two of us, Kyle.
So you're asking me if I want to be Sandman or Too Cold Scorpio? I think Scorpio, definitely. I think Sandman, his penis has got to be shredded to ground beef at this point.
I mean, I could drink a beer and watch you two fuck. I'm cool with that. So yeah, I'm down.
Okay, I think we got it. I think we got our roles settled down.
I really thought this was going to be a Beulah, Kimona, Tommy thing, and it turned into a Missy Hyatt, Sandman, Too Cold Scorpio thing.
Well, see, the apron bump can be a roller coaster of emotion sometimes. You think it's going to zig, and then it zags. But kind
of like your dick.
Speaking of my dick zigging and zagging, people listening should go zig and zag to go check out the Smackin It Raw podcast and the GETCHO podcast. If you're still part of that, I don't know.
I have not done. Oh god.
Go visit Charlie's Mango Cart on the side of the highway or whatever you're doing.
I'm selling elotes.
Yes. The hell is that?
Elote? Yeah, you don't know that the corn.
I think we had this conversation before.
Oh god! But you know what? My goal is to get on one episode of GETCHO before this one comes on, so at least I could say I'm still GETCHO. So go ahead, put it.
Okay, well this will be out in 2
You've
days.
Been replaced by.
What's
You've
that?
been replaced by Hispanics on GETCHO.
I know
it's no longer the Asian show.
It's exactly, but it's an honor because they're funny as hell. So it's why it's like it works, but at the same time it's like I think I need to.
Shout out to Just for. I was gonna say shout out to Just for being the opposite of Florida and just bringing them in and letting them fill those roles.
Yeah.
Love me some Benji and Vince.
Yeah.
Love them. Gotta love them. But I also love you two. Thank you two for coming on, talking some ECW. Where can everybody find you guys, listen to you guys, and buy your elotes? We'll start from the most bald to the least bald. So, Matt?
You guys can follow me on Twitter only at Matt Ridders, MattRidder. Everything that you need from us, Creation World, you can follow on all social media, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok at It's Creation World, ITSCREATA World. CreationWorld.com and Linktree.com will get you everything, whether it is the video versions on YouTube, Twitch, Pornhub, because we are the number one wrestling, number one news-ish, nerd news-ish, number one horror, number one everything podcast on Pornhub, because we're the only podcast on Pornhub. So come check us out there. We even have some exclusive watch-alongs that you guys can check out over at Pornhub. So yeah, that's where you guys can find me and everything that we do over at Creation World.
Charles Barkley?
Pornhub.
You're just
No,
You're a solo artist.
no. So I am at Charlie Be Bad on Twitter, but I should always shout out GETCHO podcast because they're still amazing. Like me being on it, no matter what, I still have to shout them out because they're amazing and I love them. I'll always love those fuckers. But hopefully I'll be like, now that I'm moved into my house and all settled in, like no more excuses. I still have a shitty work schedule, but in the end, I was able to do this. Maybe I could get some more burn on GETCHO podcast. I'll start watching some wrestling again, and yeah, GETCHO podcast at GETCHO podcast on Instagram, Twitter. I don't know what else they do. Grindr, Pornhub. Yeah.
You can also find them on the corner of 14 and Wilkie.
14 and Wilkie. That's so random. Why 14 and Wilkie?
Because it's right there by Arlington Park Racetrack. You know where
fucking bet. I am now by Palatine and Kennecott. So get it.
Yeah, free Palatine.
No, it's been an honor. Thank you so much. For good to talk to you both again, and yeah, hopefully you guys will see more of me soon. You know,
take your shirt off.
What? Are you serious?
You said we want to see more of you.
Oh my god!
You don't have to if you don't want to. I'm not. Okay.
The reason he's on 14 and Wilkie is because there's a McDonald's across the street, so he gets $1 for sucking a dick, and then he goes and buys a double cheeseburger.
I see. Wow, you look like a Hideo Itami.
Kenta.
That's why you have that CD handy.
His name is Kenta. I don't know.
Oh.
I have no idea if it was Hideo Itami. Mother.
The superior wrestler who made it to WWE. Anyway,
should we end this with a 3-way kiss?
All right,
I'm down.
Wait.
Charlie, you made that weird. You made
What?
that
You really did.
I made that weird.
Once again, thank you to Matt and Charlie from the Smackin It Raw and GETCHO podcast for joining me on this showdown that was very hostile in a city. Go check out their podcasts, all their info, all their socials in the description below. Sweet, sweet boys with delicious, kissable cheeks. So, do I need to co-sign them anymore? Go check them out. And follow me at Apron Bump, apronbump.com. Hey, you know what we gotta do? Bartholomew, hit it. WCW, ECW, WWF, who's the hardest promotion? Eric or Vince or Paulie? I think we can agree, though it's mostly shit. Okie dokie, artichokey. Let's grade this pay-per-view now, shall we? So, we'll get to the rest of the scorecard in a second here, but the first things first on the realist. We gotta grade this show from a grade of S to F, obviously. S being the best, F being the drizzling shits. Hostile City Showdown, what are we thinking for a grade of this show? My instant reaction is a C. It had some good stuff, but I think a lot of it was pretty meandering. I think if it wasn't for Sabu and RVD, this might be D territory. But with that one match, and the main event was pretty good too. And they had some decent angles here. So that saves it from being a D or worse. I think a C is fair for this one, for sure. Especially looking at Queens Boulevard. I think Massacre on Queens Boulevard is probably a better show than this, honestly. So C, for sure, I think is fair. So now we compare ECW to WWF and to WCW. First of all, we compare their average grade for all the events that they've had so far in the year. And this analysis is just up to this point. So we're not taking into account anything that's happened after this. We're just looking at what's happened so far during the year. And as of right now, WWF still has the best average grade of B. ECW's at about a C, and WCW's like a C minus or a D plus, whatever the hell. So we go to the scoreboard, and we see that WWF already had previously the best average grade of their pay-per-views. So no change there, but if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the scores and all the changes I'm making, if I make any. So go check that out. I strongly recommend it, but I'll also walk you through it if you're in audio land. So we're looking at the scoreboard here. Lots of criteria. We basically look at the overall pay-per-view performance, but we also look at the overall in-ring, out-of-ring, and just the general roster and star power of each individual company, and we see what's the best and what's the worst so far as of April 20th, I think the show was 21st, something like that. And looking at the overall score, WWF is dominating so far with 21 points. WCW has 1 point, and ECW bringing up the rear with 0, but lots of year to go. So, and let's see if any changes happened as per Hostile City Showdown 96. So, not the best pay-per-view nor the worst pay-per-view, just based off the grades alone. So, no changes there. WrestleMania 12 is still the best, so that gives WWF 2 points. WCW Super Brawl still the worst, so that gives WCW -1 points. Now, in-ring. So right now we're tracking WWF as the best overall in-ring product. As far as I don't think this show really swayed that at all. RVD and Sabu is a good start. That'll keep cooking. Taz will start to be in more significant stuff, and things like that. But as of right now, ECW still very much middle of the road, I think. WWF just has Shawn and Brett and Taker and Razor and Diesel are still there at this point, so they still fall under that umbrella. So a lot of good stuff, and Owen Hart, of course, and all. WWF has a lot of good talent for right now. So in ring is still WWF. That gives them 4 points. Best match of the year so far: Shawn Michaels versus Diesel at In Your House 7, and this is for 2 points. Now, the question is RVD versus Sabu better than that? I don't think so. It's a very different match, and they might go on to have better matches. But this one, on this show in particular, I would not put above Shawn versus Diesel, because with Shawn and Diesel, we also take into account, the build up, the feud, the drama involved, the stakes. As a main event at a pay-per-view for the world title, whereas Sabu and RVD is kind of just like an intro match to their rivalry. So that being considered, I don't think RVD Sabu takes over. But if there was like a top 5 list, that might slide in there, but not the very best. And worst match, we're tracking Ultimate Warrior versus Goldust at In Your House 7. I don't think anything on this show is worse, really. What would be the worst match on this card? Maybe the Pitbulls match. Pitbulls and Dudleys, perhaps. I don't think it was worse than. I'm telling you what, it's gonna take a lot to be worse than Warrior versus Goldust. So I think that's still solidified as of right now. So both best match and worst match go to WWF. For the best match, they get 2 points, but for the worst match, they lose a point there. So roster star power. Right now, we're tracking WCW. I don't think there's been any changes in ECW since, right? Not that I'm aware of. I guess Brian Pillman maybe has left, but that wasn't really a huge... that wouldn't affect WCW being the best. So, like I said this last time, WWF is creeping up on them, but no changes have really. I don't think they're there. I don't think they're there yet. I don't think they're above Hogan and Macho yet, but stay tuned for that. So WCW gets 4 points for having like the best, the most star power in their roster, essentially. Wrestler of the year, Shawn Michaels. Yeah, I think, especially coming off the best match of the year with Diesel, he's still pretty solid there. So WWF gets 2 points for that. Worst wrestler of the year. So we're tracking Hogan as the worst. Now, I said it in the podcast kind of as a joke, but not really. Do the Pitbulls. And I've said in the past that I liked the Pitbulls, but they're starting to wear on me, and I particularly was annoyed by their performance in this show. I don't think the Pitbulls will overtake Hogan, purely for the fact that where Hogan is in the card and how bad he is. So, but obviously a lot of evolutions will be taken in the Hulk Hogan character. So we'll see if that changes anything. But so we're going to keep it Hogan for now. WCW gets them a -1 point. Out of the ring. So which company has the best gimmicks, characters, promos, storylines, etc.? So we're tracking WWF as the leader here right now. ECW's got some good stuff. Unfortunately, I just don't think it's consistent enough to be the best. the Shane Douglas stuff is kind of all over the place. Even though he's a good character, I think it's a little It's not a lot of direction, it seems like. He's like his face, now he's a heel, I guess. I don't know. The Dudleys is fun, but that's really just getting off the ground. Dreamer and Raven is still kind of going, but really no progression has been made recently. Sabu RVD, like I said, just starting. So yeah, we're gonna keep it at WWF because they got Mankind versus Taker kicking off. They got right off the heels of Shawn and Diesel. They're in a bit of a transition period right now, so that might change soon too. But for now, we're gonna keep it WWF, which gives them 4 points. And yeah, best character / storyline. Right now, we're tracking Goldust as the best. I don't think anything on this show is better than that necessarily. So I think Goldust still maintains that. If anything, it'd be like the Raven and Tommy Dreamer stuff. But like I said, it kind of feels like it's in a lull at this point. So I don't know if that's enough to overtake Goldust and what he's doing. Like the revolutionary stuff that Goldust is doing. So WWF still has that, which gives them 2 points. Worst character and storyline, Dungeon of Doom. Yeah, nothing really. Trying to think. Yeah, nothing overly terrible from like a storyline perspective in ECW at this point. So I think Dungeon of Doom still maintains that, and that gives WCW -1 point. So with that, I think that pretty much maintains everything from previously. So still same score, WWF with 21, WCW with 1, ECW with 0. So we're still cooking along here, but this show I don't think really changed much. Decent show, fun moments, but nothing too earth-shattering, I guess. But with that, I think that about wraps it up for Daddy. Thank you guys so much for listening. I love you all. Big, rotund smooches. Hey, I'm hardcore. I'll take you all. Let me grab you all by the hair and lick all your faces, because that's a thing that happened on this show that we just covered. Boom. Sometimes you just gotta yell. All right, thank you guys for listening. I love you all.
Yeah.
I'm hard.
It's the hardest. Talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what hard is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock it. Let's get it started. It's the hardest. Talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what hard is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock it.